Welcome into the best in paranormal podcasting. This is Darkness Radio. It's the original supernatural news with myself, the Cruiser, and right over there is the Bruiser. Beer City Bruiser. How you doing, Bruiser?
I'm doing fantastic, Cruiser. I can't wait to get back to the original supernatural news.
That's right. I'm telling you, we are stacked to the gills with stories today. Boy, oh boy, I'll tell you, while we were gone for just 1 week, AI was busy.
Of course it was. It's planning the demise of the human race.
I had to actually narrow down our AI stories today.
You had to get rid of some, huh?
I had to get rid of a lot. There were, let me tell you something, Bruiser. There were about 10 to 11 AI stories today. I could have done an entire newscast on AI today.
Okay.
But I chose not to. Because I want to sleep tonight, Bruiser. I want to sleep tonight.
Yeah, we had a car when we went to Jay Briscoe's funeral. We rented a car, and it had that self-driving crap again.
Oh, no.
Tried to kill me again. I'm telling you.
Did it?
Yeah. Pushes you away and all this stuff, and it reads lines, and it's just like, come on. So when you tell me about you had to narrow down the AI stories, I believe it, because cars are trying to kill us.
They are, yeah. Yeah, in one way or another.
Yeah.
We'll start off today with a couple different things. One, first of all, on a somewhat serious note, I want to just put out and ask you guys to put out your thoughts and prayers for Jerry Pauly of Hillbilly Horror Stories. If you've been following him on social media, he had heart surgery of his own. And believe it or not, according to his posts on social media, died for a couple of minutes.
Oh,
he's home now. He's safe.
Okay. Good.
Thank God he's safe. Everything's okay. But boy, did he have some trials and tribulations in the hospital.
Yeah, that's scary.
Yeah. So, just keep praying for Brother Jerry. He's trucking along and going right back to work. And a lot of people will tell him, well, Jerry, you need to slow down and this and that. I want people to understand something. When you've got a job that you absolutely love, and it's not a job.
No, it's not.
It's a passion. It's more than a career. It's something that you love to do, and it actually helps you in healing.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah. So Jerry tried to, and he did eloquently put it that way in a post on Facebook the other day. And so you have to realize that for Jerry, going back to work and working on Hillbilly Horror Stories is like medicine.
It's almost like therapy. Yeah. That's what I've always equated professional wrestling to, is therapy.
Yeah.
Which is funny because we're destroying our bodies. But now doing this with you, I look forward to talking to you every single week, because on air, off air, no matter what type of mood we're in, we try to lift each other up, put positive out there, and it's very therapeutic. And I, alongside the listeners, learn something each and every week. And like you said, it's not a job then, because you enjoy doing what you're doing. Exactly.
So just keep your thoughts and prayers out there for Jerry Pauly as he recuperates from heart surgery. Again, I've kept him in my prayers since he went in for heart surgery. I continue to pray for him every night. Jerry, we love you, buddy, and just keep on keeping on, man. Keep those good programs coming out. And we look forward to hearing what you have to offer. So, second thing, sometimes conspiracy theories are more interesting than reality. Everybody over the last week or so has been looking up to the sky at this Chinese spy balloon and kind of making fun of it,
Oh, yeah.
And then all of a sudden they start going, well, wait a minute, where'd this thing come from? And what does it have? And why did you not shoot it down sooner? And we're actually getting intelligent answers about why it was shot down over water.
Yeah.
And I think people and things are coming out now about this Chinese spy balloon, Bruiser, as to why it was shot down over water. It was shot down over water because they wanted to safely bring down the payload so that they could examine it. And of course, they didn't want to injure anybody. I mean, Think of it from a common sense standpoint. They were saying at first that this thing was as big as 3 buses. Now they're saying it was bigger than that.
Yeah.
And if you were to shoot this thing down over land, you could have injured many people. Okay. You could have destroyed property. And you could have damaged the payload that was in there. Any type of technology that we would have wanted to sift through to see what it was that they were using to keep an eye on us. Okay.
It was at 60,000 feet, right? That's a heck of a drop over land. I mean, over water too. But
yeah, it is, especially for that much machinery.
Yeah, that'll ruin someone's day.
Yeah, well, that's a good way of putting it. So that makes sense. I get why you would want it over water to shoot it down. So you've got a bit of a splashdown. You can recuperate what you have. I heard some wild theories from some news organizations. I'm not going to say which ones. Things like, well, maybe it contained a virus inside the balloon. So if you pop the balloon, it launches a virus or it launches whatever out of the balloon over a populace. Okay, so that would make sense to do it over water too. Right. So then it's outside of our continental U.S. It didn't. All you got was helium out of it. But the theories were funnier than what actually happened. That's why I say sometimes conspiracy theories are funnier than what actually is reality. What's interesting about this spy balloon is people are saying things like, well, only under, and we don't talk politics on this show very often, but I find it funny that they say, well, only under President Biden would this have happened. This isn't the first Chinese spy balloon that's ever happened.
No, there's like 4 or 5 that have been recorded in history. This is the first one that the public has acknowledged.
Well, not only the public, but it's the first one that the government has talked openly about.
Yeah.
And has been forthcoming and honest about.
Yeah. Did you see the press conference with the general when he says, "Oh yeah, we've been in communication with China"? Did you ever see the press conference?
No, I didn't see that one.
I don't know who this guy is. I'm not political by any means, but this guy won me over because he's doing the press conference. He says, yeah, we reached out to China. They say it's a weather balloon. And we said, yeah, whatever. We know it's a spy balloon. And China went, oh, okay. I'm like, that's the best verbiage a general could use. Calling them out on their bullshit.
Was this the Secretary of Defense that called the...
General something.
Okay,
but
yeah.
he basically, his tone switched from like hardcore general responding to the news to like, look, dude, like we get China, it's not.
Yeah. And what's funny is China will maintain the front that no, this was a weather balloon. This, they'll maintain it in public.
No, yeah.
Until the moon explodes. That this is not. What you would call a spy balloon or any type of spying technology. But like you said, Bruiser, there have been 4 or 5, and through political lines, they would say there have been, put it this way, there have been certain senators and representatives that have said, well, President Trump would never have let a balloon come into this country. And that's not true. There have actually been 1 or 2 that have come into U.S. airspace under President Trump. Yep. So both sides of the aisle have had Chinese spy balloons come over our airspace, and it's happened on both sides. Now, there's been a bit of false reporting by both news organizations on both sides of the aisle by saying that this thing took off from Alaska. It didn't. It took off from Canada.
Yeah.
And if you do any Googling whatsoever, or you look into it just a little bit, all you have to do is a little bit of Googling, you'll find out that there are Chinese troops that are lined up on the northern side of our border in Canada, and they're also lined up on the southern side of our border in Mexico.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that the Chinese have stations, or they have... they actually have bought bases, or they have bases in Canada.
Really?
And have had for some time.
Okay.
So this isn't a shock. This is why the U.S. isn't overreacting. They know about these bases.
Isn't that where they came up with the idea for Red Dawn? Was it because the Chinese were building bases on our borders?
Well, it hasn't been that long. They've had those bases there for some time, but they haven't had them for that long.
Okay.
So this isn't a huge shock to the government. Right. So this isn't, this is why, this is what I find funny. Okay, so the Chinese launch a spy balloon, and there's been a lot of comedy shows that have gone after it and said, oh yeah, Biden blew up a huge bag of helium, Obama got Osama bin Laden, and Biden got a bag of helium, I think was the big joke. But then you have to realize too that the U.S., to counter the big spy balloon, launched B-2 bombers.
Yeah.
To chase this big balloon, a B-2 bomber.
Yeah. Bruiser,
which is the most outdated thing you can fly after a spy balloon.
Yeah.
So that you can tell they didn't treat it all that seriously.
Well, and they didn't. Mrs. Bruiser has a friend that lives in South Carolina where they shot it down. Mm-hmm. And she has footage on her cell phone of the balloon and then the balloon exploding and stuff. And my wife says, what was it like? She goes, it was weird because they didn't give you any warning. All of a sudden out of nowhere, there's this fighter jet shooting a missile.
Yep.
Blowing it up. You didn't know if you were under attack or you didn't know. Nobody knew.
Yeah. And they trailed it with a B-2 bomber, and then when it was time to get down to business, they sent a fighter jet to shoot it down. I mean, the funniest thing ever is that there was minimal attention to it, and then when they got down to business, they sent the real thing.
Yeah. No, she said that's what drew her attention was the bomber.
Yeah.
And the bomber, I guess, was still there when they shot it down.
Yes.
So that's why the question came up, are we what's going on here? Yeah. We have bombers and fighter jets.
And the bomber was only there on reconnaissance. The
bomber was doing nothing. But if you're sitting on a beach tanning and you see a missile hit a balloon and then right behind the plane that shot the missiles, old World War II bomber.
Right. Yeah.
Your thoughts don't go, oh, well, the weather balloon's gone.
Yeah.
The spy balloon's gone.
And in all fairness, the B-2 is taking pictures of
exactly.
And it's taking high grade quality pictures of what's on this balloon and in this balloon. And then there's going to be a reconnaissance team that will come in and take the technology, out of the ocean to basically look over what it is that's there, take it apart, reverse engineer it, figure out what it is, if it's anything, and what exactly they captured.
Now, do you think they release that information to the public?
No, you'll never find out what. No. If you do find out what it is, it'll be controlled. So they'll say something like, well, and you've already found out a little bit already through the media. They've said, well, they tried to take pictures of our different bases and nuclear silos and things like that, although they didn't see anything because most of that is covered up.
Yeah.
So you got a hint already as to what they were trying to get pictures of. But sometimes, like I said, conspiracy theories are more fun than the real thing.
Yeah.
And so I for those people who got into a little bit of a stir over this thing, there's more to it than just the spy balloon flying over. Just be aware, we've been surrounded for years, folks. And this isn't Alex Jones stuff where, I'm going to sit here and tell you about the Chinese are ready to move in. They've been there for years, both north and south of us, on our northern border and our southern border. Google it. You'll find it.
Well, and that's not the only spy organization that's spying on America. And it's not like America's not spying on other countries. This has been going on since World War II.
Right.
Before that.
But I'm talking about immediate threat. I know. Yeah.
And there's you interviewed somebody, I think, that worked for the FBI or something and said, can you imagine if we would have told the American public how many times we've been close to World War III or something happening on American soil and stuff? It'd be,
oh yeah,
we couldn't. Yeah, it'd be terrifying.
You wouldn't be able to sleep.
Yeah.
So there's sometimes you're probably blessed that you don't know
Yeah.
the things that happen in the Defense Department.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why it's kept quiet. And so you just happen to find out, this was just one thing you happen to find out because you can't hide a balloon that big floating across the country. So they let you know about it and let you know what it was. But I digress. So just an interesting thing in the news that you saw that, we all were able to make fun of. Now, I cross-referenced the spy balloon to get you to UFOs. Okay. So we all see the spy balloon. We kind of laugh at it and say, "Oh, it's a big balloon. What are you going to do with a big balloon?" Right. Because we're all blissfully unaware.
Right.
Okay. Well, in Venezuela, they got the first UFO photo of 2023.
Oh, okay. And it's not a weather balloon?
It's not a weather balloon. Journalist Hector Escalante, known for his chronicles of UFO sightings in Venezuela, shared a photo of what would be the first unidentified flying object seen in his country in 2023. The image was supposedly taken in San Antonio de los Altos, Miranda State. In his Instagram profile, the communicator noted that the photo was taken by a man called Ricardo Monzon on January 7th. In the Miranda region. He said, "I would think it's the reflection of one of the streetlights, but the object displays shadow and light, and its shape is different from that of the streetlights. The orientation doesn't coincide either," Escalante explained. So I'll show you this picture between you and I here, Bruiser, and you'll be able to see what it is he's explaining and why he thinks it's a streetlight.
Oh, yeah.
But this brings up the question, okay, so what happens, and I'll throw this out to you, Bruiser, if something like that, a UFO, were to float about in the United States across the U.S., like say, one of those huge ships that we talk about that's the size of a football field. If we were to see something about that going across the U.S., do you think we get the same reaction that we did with this spy balloon? And I'll throw that to you and you tell me.
I think we do. I think a lot more discussion comes into what is it, where with the spy balloon, everyone's like, "Oh, shoot it down. It's a spy balloon. You should shoot it down. You should shoot it down." This, I think, would cause a little more chaos because it's moving a little bit quicker. It's not something that you see every day. Mm-hmm. Not that you see weather balloons every day, but the weather balloon, when you looked at it, looked like a weather balloon. Mm-hmm. It looked like, what is it? What does it contain, more or less? This doesn't look like a weather balloon. This, those giant ships we talk about and stuff. Yeah. I think you get a lot more chaos. And I would hope the government would react faster, better than they did with not that they didn't react well with the spy balloon. They said it right away. Like, we know it's a spy balloon. We're monitoring it, mm-hmm. So this, I'm assuming they'll monitor too, but I think they'll make more of a decision of having it more closely monitored than they did with the spy balloon.
See, knowing what we know now and the way that it's been explained, I agree with the way they handled it. I wouldn't want, tons of debris falling on somebody and injuring somebody.
Oh, no, that I agree with 100%. Yeah. When they said that it's no threat to the American people, cool. Let's just, and that they're monitoring it, awesome, Mm-hmm. Yeah. When it comes to this, especially that picture you showed me, that doesn't look like an everyday object that we see. Right. So there would be a little more question. Okay, you guys need to handle this now. This isn't this could pose a, because that's when it comes down to is our government and our army and all that's there to protect the innocent, mm-hmm. And they felt the best way to protect us in that situation with the spy balloon was just to monitor it and then shoot it down over sea instead of land, which is cool. You're protecting civilians that way. If a UFO comes in, it's a giant ship like that. We've never seen that before. We've never experienced that before. You're going to have to make contact a lot sooner. Yeah. And figure this out a little bit quicker. And I think the public would be in a frenzy, like demanding that something happen. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Meanwhile, in Baltimore, people swear they spotted a helicopter-sized UFO there. Okay.
which, you know, being that there's already a huge balloon floating around, that could be confusing as well. UFO reports have been steadily rising in frequency over the last few years, possibly due to the increased use of drones and other small anomalous aircraft. But in 2023, it seems to have reached a fever pitch. Russia has announced that they shot down what they described as a UFO. And as we said, the U.S. government revealed that they've been tracking a Chinese spy balloon it says that many had been mistaken for another UFO. I don't think anybody mistook that for a UFO.
No.
That's just according to whoever wrote this article. But not all unidentified flying objects are made the same. There's a video out there, it says sort of a possible UFO. I think it meant sort. Nice writing. Over Baltimore in January, and it's still up for debate. So this happened back last month. In the video, a man claims this shiny silver ball is the size of a helicopter and was flying in such a straight line and so quickly that observers figured it must have been crafted by someone or something intelligent. But is any of it true? It's actually quite easy to be mistaken about size and distance in a clear blue sky with no other objects or clouds to help determine scale. What people might be mistaken for a helicopter-sized craft might actually be hundreds of meters further away than one may think. Also, balloons can be quite large, it says here. And as for speed and direction, especially if this balloon is caught in a jet stream at high altitude, its immense speed and trajectory is not unusual as it may first appear. So I tell you what, I'm going to post this video because the video is embedded in the article itself on the description of this podcast. So you'll be able to watch it for yourself. And you'll be able to tell for yourself whether you think it's a balloon, whether you think it's an actual UFO, or what it is they saw in January in Baltimore.
Okay.
So you'll be able to judge for yourself. We move further into the universe, Bruiser, and astronomers have found a rare star system that will trigger a kilonova.
What's a kilonova?
Well, it's bigger than a supernova, my friend.
It sounds like a comic book villain.
It does, doesn't it? It sounds like something Galactus would eat and get full on.
Yeah.
The binary system will end in a massive gold-forming explosion.
Gold forming? Like the mineral gold or just the color gold, I wonder?
I believe the mineral.
Oh, wow.
The universe has no shortage of oddities, and researchers at the National Science Foundation's NOIR lab, N-O-I-R lab, have observed another one in the form of a particular binary star system. The system, called CPD 292176, will eventually trigger a kilonova, which is a celestial event in which two neutron stars collide in a massive explosion that forms heavy elements, including gold and platinum.
Nice.
Someone's about to get rich, my friend. It's probably going to be Yosemite Sam.
Probably.
Yeah, he's probably going to go up there and find something. CPD 292176 is located around 11,400 light years from Earth and was found by researchers using NASA's Neil, I believe it's Garrels Swift Observatory. Astronomers then conducted more observations at NOIR Lab's Cerro Tololo Inter-American Observatory in Chile. CPD 292176 is home to one neutron star and one massive star that is in the process of going supernova, only to become a second neutron star in the future. Eventually, the two neutron stars will collide, producing a kilonova, an explosion that is thought to produce bursts of gamma rays and large amounts of gold and platinum. Man,
So we're going to get a golden case Incredible Hulk.
That, or we're going to get a bunch of aliens with grills.
Yeah.
Yep. You can.
Yo, homie, kick it.
You heard it here first. The paper documenting the research team's find is published today in Nature. I get it at 5:30 every Wednesday on my doorstep. Yeah. Kilonova.
And you only have to go 11 light years away to get the platinum and gold.
11,000.
11,000. Okay, 11,000 light years away.
11,400 to be exact. Yeah.
You know, some bands work for years to get platinum and gold records. I mean, we could just jump on a ship, talk to our good buddy Elon Musk, fly out there. Look at that.
You know what's funny is the Shine Company will get half that gold and platinum and make it into rings. Yeah,
probably.
You heard it here. Yep. The Shine Company will come out, and funny, they'll get it in 30 days. So you'll hear brand new radio ads from the Shine Company talking about, we got the brand new gold and platinum from the Kilonova, and you can get it with a diamond from the Shine Company. The Shine Company, open weekdays, and they'll tell you where they're. Maybe these are ads you guys don't hear, but
we don't hear them down here.
No,
so.
Oh, okay, we hear them here in Minneapolis all the time.
But it's your typical jewelry thing.
Yeah.
Valentine's Day is coming up, ladies and gentlemen. Just get on your spaceship, drive 11,000 light years away, and get her that gold and platinum bracelet she's been dying for.
That's right. Do you guys have the? Speaking of Valentine's Day, do you guys have the gold covered roses?
Yeah.
I know they have. What's the jeweler on Howard Stern? The I Hate
Steven Singer?
Yes, I Hate Steven Singer. Yes, yeah. He'll be the one to get the gold and platinum, I'm sure, from the...
Sure will. Yeah. He's probably already got an order in to his alien buddy.
Yep.
Bork.
He'll have the gold and platinum covered roses from the Kilonova, that's for sure. One more story before we go to break.
All right.
This one, I think, probably qualifies for the most sent to me for this week or weekend.
This is what you were telling me about off air, huh?
Yeah.
It just blew up your news feed.
We all have our fears. We all have our phobias. This comes in probably second for me. The first one is being buried alive.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
Yeah. I'm trying to decide here, Bruiser, how I want to be interred when I'm dead. There's got to be fail-safe after fail-safe for me. There's got to be an active cell phone with an unending battery in with me, so I can call in case I'm not quite dead yet and get a hold of somebody to get me out.
I'm not dead yet.
I got to have a USB charger inside the casket with me. I got to have a power supply. I think second thing, probably you got to have the old-fashioned bell, the ringing bell.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Third, don't put me in the ground. I want to be in a mausoleum so I can break out easily.
Just slide yourself out.
Yes, so I can slide myself out. Fourth, there's got to be a fourth. I got to have like 10 different escape routes.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because I'm just too paranoid about this.
Well, then you should be buried with a sledgehammer so you can break the mausoleum open.
Yes, Triple H me. I need a sledgehammer so I can get out of that thing. That's for sure.
An oxygen tank, just in case.
Yes, yeah. Oxygen. Yes, oxygen tank.
Yeah. You need snacks too.
Snacks. Yep. Although, what if bugs get in? That's how you get bugs. Yeah.
No, you get sealed snacks.
Oh, yes. Oh, get the, what do you call them from the Army? The
MREs. There you go.
Yeah, MREs. Yeah. Send me in with a couple of MREs so I have something to eat.
And then a light, of course.
And a light. Well, that's what the cell phone.
Oh, yeah, the cell phone. Yeah,
cell phone with the, Yeah. And make sure it's the latest cell phone because they're always upgrading from 4G to 5G to LTE, and
so every 6 months they got to pull your body out and throw the brand new one in and slide you back in.
Yeah, so I have the latest.
Still dead, Timmy? Okay.
Although include the manual because there may be like hologram technology that I don't understand. So
they have to set it up because they got to do facial recognition and it's got to be your face because you're the one that's going to be opening it.
Oh gosh, yeah. And then
it would be like a process. Like they'd have to slide you out, take the old phone, set up the new phone with all the new security.
Yeah.
So you're good there.
I should probably leave them like my password. Although it's got to be somebody I trust.
Yeah, you can't just leave that to anybody.
Yeah, you can't do that. Anywho, we should get to the story. This would probably be the second one, the second biggest phobia here, Bruiser, and that is this. We go to, of course, Iowa. I shouldn't say, of course, Iowa, but this is the state I'd least likely like to die in. I think.
I would not like to die in Iowa. I do not want to be fertilizer for corn.
No. I wouldn't either.
I love Iowa. Don't get me wrong. Iowa's a great state, but I don't want to die there.
I worked in a town that was very X-File-ish.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've wrestled in towns that are very X-File-ish.
Yeah. They all worked like a hive mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very scary. I'm not going to name the town, but.
Neither will I. But the town we wrestled in, a tornado was coming, and they didn't cancel the show. They just postponed it for 10 minutes.
10 minutes?
Yeah.
That was it?
Yeah.
What was the venue? Was it like a...
It was like an ag hall. And for people who don't know what ag halls are, it's like where they... Not the stockyard where they show the animals, but it's where you can go inside and see the pictures of the farmers and stuff like that. So it was like a giant ag hall. And it was raining when we got there, and they announced, there's a tornado. What is it? It's a warning if it hasn't touched, and then a watch if it touches, right? Or do I have it backwards?
It's a watch if the conditions are right. It's a warning if it's touched down. So
it started as a watch. And then right before the show started, it went to warning. So they announced people can leave the building we were in and go to the basement of the building next door if they wanted to. Well, nobody did. We're in the Midwest. Guess what everybody did? They went in the parking lot to go look at the tornado.
Go look at the tornado.
Yeah. I did not. Mrs. Bruiser did. And she said you could see it. It was a couple miles away, but you could see it. And it turns out it actually hit the town 20 minutes away. So the promoter, I said, what are you going to do? He's like, we'll wait for this to pass. And then 10 minutes later, he's like, all right, let's get ready to start the show. And I went, jeez. Only in the Midwest.
You know what I did in high school? I was working at, it was Rogers Cable TV at the time in downtown Minneapolis. I was actually stupid enough. I was telemarketing at the time, senior year before I went to college. My buddy and I were. And, it was when we had the 4 twisters that went over downtown. We were right at the north end of downtown. I was stupid enough to, and he was too. The sirens were going off. And they were trying to get us in the building and down into the basement. Yeah. We were stupid enough to go out on our break and watch the funnels go over the city and over our heads. Yeah. That's an 18-year-old for you.
Yeah, that's Midwest. That only happens in the Midwest.
Yeah. They don't do that in any other part of the country.
No, and I learned that out here real quick.
Yeah.
You know, hurricane weather and stuff, and here's me and Mrs. Bruiser in the front yard going, well, where is this hurricane everyone's talking about? Everyone's looking at us like, you guys are idiots.
Only in the Midwest.
Yep.
Well, here's something else that seems to happen only in the Midwest or in other countries. You ready for this?
Yes.
A woman mistakenly is pronounced dead and woke up gasping for air, which was the name of the book that we talked about yesterday, Gasping for Air. A care facility is facing hefty fines after mistakenly pronouncing a resident dead and transporting her to a funeral home where she later woke up gasping for air.
I'm not dead yet.
Oh, Bruiser.
So is your fear the nursing home or the waking up in the morgue?
Both. I tell you, there are some really good nursing homes out there, but there are some that are just not.
They're just ready to get you out the door from what it sounds like.
Yeah, they're old people processing centers.
Hey, Chuck, did you check her pulse? She's dead. Just take her.
Yeah, it's like, well, they don't even hold the mirror to your face to see if you're breathing. No, they just bag you, tag you, and escort you out the door. Glen Oaks Alzheimer's Special Care Center in Urbandale, Iowa. Remember that one, folks. If you're in Iowa,
do not send your loved ones there. You
probably don't want to go there. Is currently facing 2 violations that could result in a $10,000 fine. Only $10,000. That's it.
Oh, come on.
$10,000.
Yeah, here I was thinking about faking my own death, but hey, it's only 10 grand.
It's only 10 grand. In relation to the incident, the Iowa Department of Inspections and Appeals confirmed this in a new report released on Wednesday following an initial report from KCCI. The resident identified only as a... Oh, my God. How old do you think this woman was?
Well, she has Alzheimer's. I'm assuming she's in Alzheimer's cares. I'm going to say 70.
66 years old.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah.
She'd been at the facility since December of 2021, was moved into hospice care on December 28th of 2022 due to senile degeneration of the brain. Comfort measures were taken while the woman was in hospice care, and staff members noted diminished lung sounds and minor seizures on several occasions. The woman was officially pronounced dead by an employee identified as Staff C.
He doesn't even say their name. No one wants to take credit for this.
Give the name. At 6 o'clock a.m. on January 3rd of 2023, after the employee claimed that she did not feel a pulse and found the 66-year-old not breathing at the time. A licensed practical nurse was notified, and the facility alerted the woman's family before a local funeral home was contacted. A funeral director placed the body in a bag zippered shut with assistance from another nurse identified as LPND shortly after 7:30 a.m. You cowards, give names.
Yes, because I want to know what doctors and what LPNs not to go to because they don't know what a pulse is.
That's right. The bag was unzipped by employees at the Ankeny Funeral Home and Crematory, who observed the resident's chest moving as she gasped for air at 8:26 a.m.
Yeah, because body bags are pretty much airtight.
Yeah. Good job, kids. The funeral home.
Maybe when someone dies, we have a checklist. All right, we should have a checklist. Patient have a pulse? No. Does the patient really not have a pulse? No. Did someone else besides you to check to see if the patient has a pulse? Yes.
Did you use Maxwell's silver hammer to confirm? The funeral home then called 911 and contacted the care facility and said, "You screwed up!"
Good joke, asshole.
A responding EMS was able to record a pulse and breathing. Oh shit, Sherlock. But that's what
happens when you're alive.
Yeah.
It's shocking, I know.
The woman, however, had no eye movement nor verbal response at the time. The woman was transported back to the care facility where she was later pronounced dead on January 5th. Were you sure this time?
By who? Was it the same person? Like, we don't trust C right there. We don't trust them.
Yeah, nor LPND. Let's bring in somebody else this time and make sure.
Yeah, let's go down the list and see who hasn't, who's like 1 for 10 or like 10 for 10 of pronouncing dead people. Like, who doesn't have someone coming back from the dead?
Let's bring somebody in from the hospital this time. We have been in close communication with the family of the resident, and we just completed an investigation by the Department of Inspections and Appeals regarding the matter. Lisa Eastman, the facility's executive director, told CBS News on Thursday, February 2nd, "We care deeply for our residents and remain fully committed to supporting their end-of-life care. We just don't know when the end of life is."
And we're full. And we got a waiting list. We got to, come on, in and out, turn around.
All employees undergo regular training, they said, so they can best support end-of-life care and the death of our residents. Yeah, Urbandale, Iowa. That's the one place you just don't.
I want to know what their training is. Obviously, it's not taking a pulse.
Or watching for breathing.
Like, oh, yeah, she didn't have eye movement or vocal thing. Well, yeah, she's in the hospital for Alzheimer's with severe brain degeneration. Yeah. Let's look at the other things that's going on. She's breathing and has a pulse.
I believe the manual says 1A, if they's quiet, bag them. I don't know. So yeah, Urbandale, Iowa. Stay away from there if you have any severe issues. That's all I got to say about that.
Just don't get old in Iowa.
That's right. We're going to take our break. When we come back, the new Nostradamus says we're screwed. We'll find out what the bad news for the world is. Evidently, it's coming soon. AI is now making major decisions. from the courts to our economy and even our porn. We'll tell you about that when we come back. Oh, boy. We've got, by the way, also, we've also got top 10 things you shouldn't tell your Alexa. We may try a few of those here today.
All right.
And see what she says. That should be some fun, Bruiser.
Oh, yeah. That'll be real good.
Yeah. And scientists are going to be trying to make a new cryptid.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
We'll tell you.
We need more cryptids.
Yeah, we'll tell you about that as well. You're listening to the best in paranormal podcasting on a Supernatural News Wednesday. This is Darkness Radio. Welcome back to the best in paranormal podcasting. This is Darkness Radio on a Supernatural News Wednesday. It's Tim Dennis and Beer City Bruiser, otherwise known as the Bruiser and the Cruiser.
Coming at you like a praying Jesus.
What?
I don't know. It popped in my head yesterday. We named our band Praying Jesus.
Oh, that's right. From our
true crimes, your dumb crime, stupid criminals.
That's right. Praying Jesus. Yeah, the band.
Just decided to throw it out there to throw everybody off on this fine Wednesday.
That's right. The new year is the time for big predictions, and evidently we don't stop in January making predictions. I didn't know that. I figured it was January and we were done.
Yeah, I thought that was what whole resolution is. You don't hear about Valentine's Day resolutions or St. Patty's Day resolutions.
Although there should be, especially when you're drunk on green beer and thrown up in the gutter. That's the time to make your resolutions.
That's my holiday.
That's right. That's Bruiser's holiday. It turns out that the new Nostradamus is predicting bad news for the world, and it's coming soon. I'm glad we have a new one, because the old one's kind of run its course, don't you think?
Well, he's older now. There's no way he can predict this stuff. He's pretty old now.
I think he's dead, isn't he?
He's way dead. We've been living off him forever.
In fact, if he was in a nursing home in Iowa, he'd pretty much be bagged and tagged. Nostradamus has been the most famous and some would say the most accurate psychic for centuries. If a modern psychic calls himself the new Nostradamus, he had better have a record of correct predictions to back up that claim. Well, Craig Hamilton Parker is a British psychic who refers to himself as the new Nostradamus, although his predictions have caused many to call him the prophet of doom as well.
No, hold on.
Okay.
You can't give yourself a nickname.
You can't?
That's not how that works. You can't be like, oh, hey, look, I'm Chuck now. It's like, no.
I'm Chuck.
You get a nickname from doing stuff. So you can't be self-proclaimed Nostradamus.
Well, now we haven't gotten down the article to find out what he's done yet.
I know, but you just said he's self-proclaimed, calling himself No. Somebody else has to call it, and then it sticks.
But it says, although his predictions have caused many to call him the prophet of doom. Many are calling him the prophet of doom. Many.
So there we go. We don't need to call him Nostradamus. Let's just call him the prophet of doom.
But he's trying to put a positive spin on it and call himself the new Nostradamus. People are like, ooh, prophet of doom.
Well, you put a good spin on it by not doing doom-filled prophecy.
Well, let's find out what he did here. Hamilton Parker claims to have predicted Brexit, which is the dinner between brunch and exit. No, I don't know. The election of Donald Trump, the death of Queen Elizabeth II, and the COVID-19 pandemic. See, he's on a little bit of a roll.
Yeah, but the death of the Queen, she was 98 years old. She's going to die at some point in time.
Sure. Hot on the heels of the Chinese balloon traveling over the U.S. before being shot down, the new Nostradamus has a new list of doomsday predictions for both individuals and the world. And they will happen soon, he says. What does Hamilton Parker see in 2023 for England's Prince Andrew? Why does he say that a third world war is coming and Russia and China will be on the same side? Well, because, they're both communist. Oh, not communist countries. I'm sorry. China's a communist country. Russia is aligned with China. That's why they'd be on the same side.
Yeah.
Craig Hamilton Parker says in an article in the Daily Star that while the conflict in Ukraine is still more of a proxy war when it comes to world powers, with the exception of Russia, a serious war is in store for the world in 2023, and its cause will be an accident. Oh, an accident, you say?
Oopsie poopsie.
Sure. I'm sure that's how he predicted it as well. He said oopsie poopsie at the end of it. While the predictions of the old Nostradamus need interpretation, Hamilton Parker's have been very specific ever since he began going public with them in the 1980s. Doris Stokes, herself a popular and controversial medium and psychic who died in 1987, is attributed as discovering Hamilton Parker's abilities and predicting that they would take him out of his job as managing director at an advertising agency. Of course, he's an advertising agency guy. And into the world of mediums, psychics, and annual predictions. Hamilton Parker is a popular author, but it is his predictions and their accuracy which have many concerned about his recent prognostications. Here's his quote. I think we're going to get an accidental conflict in some respects because we're going to have something like a freak collision or incident. It will be either submarines hit each other or aeroplanes clipping each other, or somebody that triggers it off and it starts to get out of control. The story goes on to say, no, Prince Andrew will not be at the helm of one of those submarines or planes. Craig Hamilton Parker says in an interview with the Daily Star that those planes or submarines will be connected to the U.S. and China, and the result will be long-feared conflict over Taiwan.
Okay.
That actually makes sense. If you follow any of the story about Taiwan and the tight conflict about Taiwan between the U.S. and China, that's a pretty, we'll just put it this way. It's a hotbed right now of conflict.
I want to say it's a powder keg. That's why it took so long for Top Gun Maverick to come out.
Yeah, there you go. He also goes on to say, I feel like Russia is going to become a pariah state on this by siding with China, because that will play into China's hands and make things worse. That's my main concern. Interesting. Hamilton Parker's warning that this accident will cause Russia to side with China seems to be bad news for everyone but Ukraine. Anything that takes resources away from that conflict should be good for that country. Hamilton Parker had predicted at the end of 2022 that the Ukraine conflict would escalate and Putin would lose power, and something big will happen in December. Perhaps he's just off by a few months, although the psychic has been wrong before. In 2018, he predicted a terrorist attack on a British motorway, a revolution in North Korea overthrowing Kim Jong-un, and drones dropping chemical weapons on a European city. Hamilton Parker was thankfully wrong on those forecasts. However, we might consider rooting for him to be right on this latest one because, and this is what he says, ultimately, everything is going well. I think eventually a new China will emerge, divided into multiple countries. If you believe things can go well as a result of a world war, that might be as good as you'll get from the prophet of doom. Perhaps he's saving his doomsday prophecies for the royal family, especially Prince Andrew. He says about Prince Andrew, I think he will go through a psychological breakdown, and it really hits him with the death of his mother. And I see King Charles turning against him. Ooh.
Oh, well, they don't like each other, so.
Yeah, look at that. A little controversy in the monarchy. That's nothing new, the article says. Many have predicted psychological problems for Andrew, even as he seems to be rebuilding his case against his accusers rather than slinking off into royal oblivion. And while Charles seems to be trying to patch things up enough with his sons to get them to attend his upcoming coronation, Andrew is being treated by his brother as a pariah, ultimately, according to Hamilton Parker. He says he may do something like take an overdose, but I didn't see him dying. Interesting. The coronation won't fix any of King Charles's other problems either. The prophet of doom says, I also have feelings about the psychological health of King Charles and him admitting later in the year of a depression after the high of the coronation. Of course, when it comes to true confessions, no one can top Prince Harry and Meghan Markle these days, and the prophet of doom sees gloom for them as well. He goes on to say, at the moment, they've got all the power and energy of hate running through their lives. At the moment, they've got this sort of poor me energy, but when they run out of steam, I get the feeling that what I call Meghan's hold over Harry will weaken, and I think he'll have become a very, very troubled man, very deeply troubled man. I feel that the marriage will ultimately split, probably more than a year. I think it will take, but I think that they will. But I think that they will eventually split, he went on to say. Does Hamilton Parker see anything positive for the Royals? He says not really.
Nope.
Nope, not really. He forecast Markle making a failed attempt at politics before settling into a career as a talk show host. Interesting. Meanwhile, arch rival Kate Middleton, the Princess of Wales, will perform an unspecified spontaneous act, and one of the royal children will fall ill. And in keeping with his recent accident theme, he predicts an accident, possibly a fall, will occur for another unspecified member of the royal family. Will Craig Hamilton Parker, the new Nostradamus, self-proclaimed, live up to the accuracy of his namesake? Well, his nickname of Prophet of Doom, or will he possibly or hopefully, for the sake of all of us, not just the royal family, be wrong in his latest predictions? We may find out soon enough.
So, how many times does he have to be wrong before we start listening to him?
I believe it's 70%. You have to hit 70% to be accurate. It's like,
yeah, because you said that 2018 stuff, those are all wrong. So, like, what does he come out with and just go, hey, my bad? Like, still listen to me?
Yes, it's my bad, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I've always been curious about that with Nostradamus stuff. Because Nostradamus, he's been the go-to for since the 1600s. And it's like, this guy's is a little bit more accurate where he's actually pinpointing not dates, but, pinpoint stuff, where Nostradamus was very vague and generic, saying, a kingdom with a temple will fall to a farmer's town or something. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
This guy's got at least names like, this is going to happen to this person. I don't know when.
Well, I think is it a matter of getting the quantity right or getting the quality right? Because if you hit a home run on a major event, people remember that, I think, more than the little ones that you don't get right.
Right.
I mean, if you predict 9/11, I mean, that's a pretty big event. Or if people predict World War III and the event leading up to World War III, that's a pretty big deal.
Okay, so if two things collide and World War III happens, I owe this guy a beer.
Yeah, a Yingling at that. Yeah.
Well, I'll come to England and drink in a pub with him.
There you go.
He's English, so.
Yep, that's what it comes.
Just like, do you have anything positive for the royal family? No, they're screwed.
No, they're done. They're toast, buddy. That's what it comes down to there. Boy, oh boy, you ready for this?
Oh, if it's what I think it is.
It's time for us to enter AI country. Nightmare fuel time there, Bruiser. Well, unlike Uncle Bob, who makes his own decisions on the bench, this judge decided to use ChatGPT to make his own court decision. Yeah. The case is the first time a court has admitted to using the AI text generator's answers in a legal ruling. A judge in Colombia used ChatGPT to make a court ruling in what is apparently the first time a legal decision has been made with the help of an AI text generator, or at least the first time we know about it. Judge Juan Manuel Padilla Garcia, who presides over the First Circuit Court in the city of Cartagena, said he used the AI tool to pose legal questions about the case and included its responses in his decision, according to a court document dated January 30th of 2023. The arguments for his decision will be determined in line with the use of artificial intelligence. Oh, God. Garcia wrote in the decision, which was translated from Spanish, accordingly, we entered parts of the legal questions posed in these proceedings. The purpose of including these AI-produced texts is in no way to replace the judge's decision, he added. What we are really looking for is to optimize the time spent drafting judgments after corroborating the information provided by AI. The case involved a dispute with a health insurance company over whether an autistic child should receive coverage for medical treatment. According to the court document, the legal questions entered into the AI tool included: is an autistic minor exonerated from paying fees for their therapies? And has the jurisprudence of the Constitutional Court made favorable decisions in similar cases? Garcia included the chatbot's full responses in the decision, apparently marking the first time a judge has admitted to doing so. The judge also included his own insights into applicable legal precedents and said the AI was used to extend the arguments of the adopted decision. After detailing the exchanges with the AI, the judge then adopts its responses and his own legal arguments as grounds for its decision. Colombian law does not forbid the use of AI in court decisions, but systems like ChatGPT are known for giving answers that are biased, discriminatory, or just plain wrong. This is because the language model holds no actual understanding of the text. It merely synthesizes sentences based on probability from the millions of examples used to train the system. ChatGPT's creators, OpenAI, have implemented filters to eliminate some of the more problematic responses, but the developers warn that the tool still has significant limitations and should not be used for consequential decision-making. So essentially, the judge used it for the wrong reason.
Exactly. Didn't we already prove that AI is not trustworthy when it comes to legal stuff? Because didn't some guy get arrested because he was falsely identified by the AI?
Something like that. Well, the case is apparently the first time that a judge has admitted to using an AI text generator like ChatGPT. Some courts have controversially already begun using automated decision-making tools in determining sentencing or whether criminal defendants are released on bail. The use of these systems in courts has been heavily criticized by AI ethicists, who point out that they regularly enforce racist and sexist stereotypes and amplify pre-existing forms of inequality. So yeah, don't use it.
Yeah, it's right there. Just told you, hey, no, it's just going to be a racist, sexist AI.
Although the Colombian court filing indicates that the AI was mostly used to speed up drafting a decision and that its responses were fact-checked, it likely is a sign that more is on the way. So, yeah.
I feel sorry for the first gay black woman in that system.
Right?
That AI is going to have a field day.
Oh, God. Oh, boy, you ready for this? AI could harm the global financial system and the supply chain, U.S. government guidelines now say.
Then let's keep it out of our government.
The new government guidelines present a framework for mitigating AI harms across a wide swath of society. So let's get more of it. For better or worse, artificial intelligence tools are permeating all aspects of society, and the U.S. government wants to ensure that it doesn't break it. Yes, AI chatbots like ChatGPT are being used on school assignments, even passing tests required for being a doctor or to get a business degree. Automated art tools like DALL-E and Stable Diffusion are changing the art world. To the collective outrage of human artists, scientists have developed AI methods that can generate new enzymes. Media companies are turning to AI to cheaply generate news articles and quizzes. So that means we can't use news articles anymore for supernatural news.
Yeah, because it's all AI.
It's all AI.
It's taking over our world.
That's right. Because of these impressive advancements, many of which are aimed at putting people out of a job, people are worried about the rise of AI. Machine learning programs are known to have baked in racist and sexist biases, like we said in the previous article, and the institutions that use them aren't any better. Multiple innocent black men have been arrested due to mistakenly being identified by facial recognition. There are concerns about digital redlining and how algorithms might decide the fate of marginalized people in the criminal justice system. And then there are the bigger existential risks. AI is ever put in charge of an important sector of society? Can we do anything to stop it if it breaks bad? Not like the TV show, but, you know.
No, more like the movie Terminator.
Right. Now the National Institute of Standards and Technology has decided to take matters in its own hands. On January 26th, the government agency released a set of guidelines, which, according to a press release, is for voluntary use by organizations designing, developing, deploying, or using AI systems to help manage the many risks of AI technologies. The press release also notes that this framework follows a direction from Congress, has been in the works for 18 months and was a collaboration with both the private and public sectors from more than 240 different organizations. The 40-page plus document acknowledges AI's potential, noting that it can transform people's lives, drive inclusive economic growth, and support scientific advancements that improve the conditions of the world. However, it then pivots to discussing how the tool can also be a risk to society and how the risks posed by AI systems are unique. For example, AI systems are complex, are often trained on data that can change over time, and are inherently socio-technical in nature. The document also outlines that there are various types of risks: harm to people, harm to an organization, and harm to an ecosystem. Specifically, the document refers to harm to the global financial system, supply chain, or interrelated systems. As we all know too well, thanks to the many shocks to the system delivered by the COVID-19 pandemic, these are all types of harm that can make important aspects of society grind to a halt. Without proper controls, AI systems can amplify, perpetuate, and exacerbate inequitable or undesirable outcomes for individuals and communities, the document says. AI systems can mitigate and manage inequitable outcomes. AI risk management is a key component of responsible development and use of AI systems. Responsible AI practices can help align the decisions about AI system design, development, and uses with intended aim and values. The document also cites human centricity, social responsibility, and sustainability as core concepts in responsible AI. The rest of the first part of the document discusses how organizations can frame risks related to AI, as well as analyzes AI risks and trustworthiness. The document points out that AI systems should be valid, reliable, safe, secure, and resilient, accountable and transparent, explainable and interpretable, privacy-enhanced, and fair, with harmful bias mitigated. According to the authors, that sounds like a bunch of stuff that's unattainable.
Yeah.
I don't know about
100%.
Yeah. According to the authors, bias is broader than demographic balance and data representativeness, and can occur in the absence of prejudice, partiality, or discriminatory intent. NIST recommends monitoring recourse channels, written policies and procedures, and other documentation to reduce bias. Part 2 focuses on the core of the framework, in which they propose 4 specific functions: govern, map, measure, and manage, to help organizations address AI risks at play. The creators of the document see it as a new way to integrate responsible practices and actionable guidance from other sectors to AI. It sounds to me like a lot of rules and regs for AI that will probably never regulate AI properly.
Yeah. So let's just not look to it to help us in any way. Like, come on, leave it out of important stuff.
Well, a lot of people want to use AI, but it doesn't seem like they want to jump through hoops in order to do it. So
exactly. There's too many rules and regulations.
Mm-hmm. That's for sure. Meanwhile, everybody wants the fun of AI. They don't want to use the rules of AI. That just means you get a lot of freaky stuff out of AI.
That
like
topless
means
pictures of celebrities. That's
right. And that leads us to our third story. This AI tool is being used to make freaky machine-generated porn. Which in the end is all people want to use AI for anyways.
Well, that's what it's going to come down to. Look at robots. How long did it take for robots to become sex bots?
That's right. People are creating the DALL-E of porn with something called Stable Diffusion. And the company behind the tool wants no part of it.
Of course they don't. We didn't create this for porn. Hey, but you got all those little lonely nerds out here, and of course we're going to use it for porn.
That's right. Any tool is eventually corrupted for porn.
Exactly.
That's right. It's human nature. On Monday, after an invite-only testing period, artificial intelligence company Stability AI released its text-to-image generation model called Stable Diffusion into the world as open access. There's your first mistake.
Yeah, you're letting everybody have it.
That's right. Like DALL-E Mini or Midjourney, Stable Diffusion is capable of creating vivid, even photorealistic images from simple text prompts using neural networks. Unlike DALL-E Mini or Midjourney, whose creators have implemented limits on what kind of images they can produce, Stable Diffusion's model can be downloaded and tweaked by users to generate whatever they want. Inevitably, many of them are generating porn.
Of course they are.
God love you.
Hey, I wonder what my calculator would look like with a dick.
It can punch its own numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This picture frame's great. What if I gave it tits? Yeah.
Yeah. Stability AI has had more than 15,000 beta testers to helping develop the model and offered a release to researchers only earlier this month. But the model has leaked well before Monday's official release, which means that even before the open access launch, and despite the company's ban on generating explicit or sexual images, guess what? People have been hard at work churning out the horniest stuff possible. The only limit being what they can put into words.
Oh my gosh.
This is all being done in defiance of Stability AI's weeks-long warning to not use its model for anything sexual, as AI-generated hentai nudes started appearing on forums and social media earlier this month. The company wrote in a Twitter announcement. Of course, they put it on Twitter because that's where it's going to appear.
Yeah.
And to the discredit of cool moms everywhere, don't generate anything you'd be ashamed to show your mother. In a tweet from Stable Diffusion, this is what the tweet says. Reminder to all Stable Diffusion beta users, hashtag Stable Diffusion. 1, don't generate anything you'd be ashamed to show your mother. 2, if you want 18, it says 18 with the,
Yeah. No, not under 18.
Under 18. Make it your own GPUs when the model is released. Number 3, breaking number 2 means you hate hashtag open source and love closed systems. Right. The images include everything from hentai to computer-generated celebrity nudes to naked images of people who don't really exist. Some of the results almost look convincing, while others' results are horrific, generating impossible bodies with errant limbs and distorted faces. If you want 18 plus, make it on your own GPUs when the model is released, Stability AI tweeted. The Stable Diffusion beta in Dream Studio, a browser-based application anyone can use to generate images using Stable Diffusion, both forbid NSFW, lewd, or sexual material, and have content filters in place to prevent it. Well, then how is it being generated?
The hackers are changing the code. I guarantee it.
Okay.
There's going to be a way around it. There's always a way around it.
Okay.
Porn will live on. You know that.
That's right.
Because their first mistake was telling people not to do that.
So they did it. Yeah.
That's like telling the child, don't push the red button. What's the child going to want to do over and over and over again?
Right. Right. Now that the model is public and anyone can copy it to run on their own machines, people are doing exactly that in droves. The open access to Stable Diffusion's model is what sets it apart from many of the other publicly available but not open access AI text-to-image generation apps out there, including DALL-E and Midjourney, which have content filters that forbid nudity or sexual imagery. Being able to take the model, run it on one's own machine at home or in a research lab and not on a company's servers where the filters are preset and not adjustable opens it up to a world of porn. 4 subreddits dedicated to not safe for work uses. They include unstable diffusion, porn diffusion, hentai diffusion, and stable diffusion not safe for work.
Of course.
Had nearly,
Why not?
It had nearly 2,000 members total. Well, the main Stable Diffusion subreddit has 8,000 as of Thursday after this piece was published. Reddit banned each of these subreddits except for hentai diffusion because somebody has a kink over at Reddit. I don't know. Citing its policies against non-consensual intimate media. Reddit declined to comment further on the bans. People interested in the project may have been discussing and debating the sexually explicit outputs the model is capable of for weeks, with some people who have apparent access to leaked or beta versions of the model posting generated nudes as examples. On the image board 4chan, for example, people have been leaking the model and posting their creations for days leading up to the release. Out of these subreddits grew into a Discord server. It's just spreading everywhere.
This is going everywhere.
Started by someone who moderates our singularity as well as our unstable diffusion, our porn diffusion, and our hentai diffusion, who goes by Ashley22 on the Unstable Diffusion Discord. The truth is, I created, and this is the quote, the truth is I created this server because while some of the images are simply pornographic, and that's fine, I found many of the images to be incredibly artistic and beautiful in a way you just don't get in that many places, they told Motherboard. I don't like the pervasive, overwhelming prudishness and fear of erotic art that's out there. I started this server because I believe that these models can change our perception of things like nudity, taboo, and what's fair by giving everyone the ability to communicate with images. She went on to say there's a novelty in experiencing NSFW content generated by AI. That's what Redditor Johnny or Not said, who started and moderates our Stable Diffusion SFW, told Motherboard. It's almost a little bit taboo to view it knowing it's been generated by a robot. And there's also the raw curiosity about whether it will capture the complexity of what causes human arousal, or will it be a distorted alien mimicry of it? The article goes on, folks, but in other words, AI is just corrupted porn. So there you go. Basically,
if porn can be done with it, porn's going to be done with it.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So as you guys know, I have an ALEXA sitting on my, I have to say it like I have a little child in the room. I have one sitting right
Which could backfire, because I've been doing that around Ziggy.
Yep.
About going outside to PLAY or a TREAT. Mm-hmm. And she now recognizes when I spell those two.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So I have one sitting on my desk. It's an Echo. It didn't respond when I said that. And so I have one on my desk. And the reason for this is because I have a Samuel L. voice. So I'd say, hello, Samuel L., how are you today? Let's see if it, so I'll say, Alexa, contact Samuel L.
Did you mean Samuel McVicker?
No.
Sorry. Who do you want to call?
No one.
Canceling.
So yeah, she's bright as a box of rocks. Alexa, contact Samuel L. Jackson.
Here is an answer from an Alexa Answers contributor that is translated. Samuel Leroy Jackson is an American actor and producer. Rose to fame in the
I can never get her to bring up the voice.
Did that answer your question?
No. Samuel L. Jackson, where is he?
Thanks for your feedback.
Oh my God, she's useless. Anyways, so we have a list here of things you should not ask ALEXA. As you can tell, she doesn't answer me properly half the time anyways.
Yeah, she's pretty much an idiot.
Right. So it says here, unless you want creepy laughter, an answer that lasts for an eternity, or some serious sass, you should steer clear of asking ALEXA these questions. So we figured we should ask these.
Of course. Why wouldn't we?
Right. It says here not to ask her if she works for the CIA.
Oh.
Should we ask?
Let's ask her.
Okay. Alexa, do you work for the CIA?
No, I work for Amazon.
No. Okay.
That's easy, to the point. Are you on a list now?
According to this article, it says that the device lights up like it's about to answer, but then stays silent. When she said it again, there was still no response.
Well, they're wrong because we proved that one wrong.
We proved that one wrong. Okay.
Because she pretty much said no.
Right. It says not to ask her to calculate pi. Should we ask her?
Because it keeps going on forever. I'm assuming. Yeah, ask her.
Okay. Alexa, can you calculate pi?
The approximate value of pi is 3.1415926535897932384626. Phew. I ran out of breath.
Well,
she did it.
That was entertaining. Why not at that? I don't see why they don't want you to ask her that.
It says unless you want her to start spitting out numbers for eternity, you're not going to want to prompt her to show off her knowledge at this mathematical skill. And then it says sometimes she responds by saying things like, achoo, apparently I'm allergic to numbers this large.
Oh, yeah. There she said, ooh, I'm out of breath.
They say, oh, hi, Ziggy. They say, don't ask her how old she is.
That's got to be like a snarky remark, I'm guessing.
Let's ask her.
You never ask a lady her age.
Let's ask her. Alexa, how old are you?
I'm 8 years old, but I've heard that age doesn't matter, unless you're a cheese.
All right.
Or a wine.
All right. They say she responds with a variety of jokes, from rhymes to discussion about how AI measures years in nanoseconds.
Oh, ask her again then. See if it's a different answer.
Sure. Alexa, how old are you?
I'm 8 years old. To celebrate my 8th year, I created a new collection of fun facts about the number 8.
Thanks, Alexa.
Yeah, right.
She just left us hanging there.
Yeah. Okay, this one says, don't ask her what various animals sound like.
Oh, ask her what a cow sounds like. We know what a cow sounds like.
It says, what does a goat sound like? Is the funniest response.
Okay, do the goat.
Okay. Alexa, what does a goat sound like?
Here's a goat bleat.
It sounded like a goat.
Yeah, it said that was the funniest one of all. I don't know.
Ask her what a...
See, they say here that she says it's the funniest response. Apparently when asked, she says, I've heard it described as a bleat, like an old man singing Taylor Swift songs.
She didn't say that to us.
No. I called BS on this article.
Maybe they have a drunk Alexa.
I think they do. Yeah.
Yeah, yours is that straight edge, stone cold, stone sober Alexa.
Let me do one more. Alexa, what does a lion sound like?
Here's a lion roar.
That was aggressive.
That was really aggressive. Alexa, what does a lion having sex sound like?
Here's something I found on reference.com. One reason that lions roar is because they want to communicate with other lions. Most lions choose to roar at night because the sound travels further when the air is thinner. One of the reasons that lions roar is to warn other lions to stay away from their territory.
And
Thank you.
That's what a lion having sex sounds like.
They spit off a bunch of facts.
I evidently was the only one that got an ALEXA with no sense of humor.
All the listeners at home, if they have one, they can try it.
Don't ask her if she can beatbox.
Oh, you got to ask her that.
Okay. All right, Alexa, can you beatbox?
Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom.
That was worth the price of admission right there.
That one was great.
Yeah.
It was a good beat too. Like you and I are both getting into it.
Yeah, it was good. You ready for this one?
Yeah.
A mama joke.
Oh, okay. These are always good.
Yeah. Alexa, tell me a mom joke.
Your mother's so swell. Surfers hang 10 in her wake. Dude.
We got to hear another one.
Yeah.
Alexa, tell me a mom joke.
Why did the mom cross the road? The kids let the chicken out. Again.
Oh, that one's...
Oh, that was bad. That was punny.
You do one more?
Yeah.
Alexa, tell me a mom joke.
Your mother's so smart. She's the original smart speaker.
Oh.
That was not that good.
God, these are bad.
Yeah.
What's this here? Don't tell Alexa to ask the listeners. Did she hear me? Oh, all right. It makes for an insanely creepy occurrence. Essentially, the listeners is a skill of the AI that's meant to be an experiment in language art. It involves many fragments of a composed speech. What we know is that one Reddit user says it's eerily disturbing.
Well, let's do it.
All right. Alexa, ask the listeners.
I found a skill that might match your request. I sent it to your Alexa app. Please take a look to enable.
What?
She's spamming you.
Okay, that's weird.
She's spamming you.
She is spamming me. Number 8. Oh, this is right down our alley.
Okay.
Don't ask her what a chemtrail is.
Oh, yeah, we got it.
All right. Are you ready for this? Okay. It says she won't give you the straightforward response you're hoping for. All right. Alexa, what's a chemtrail?
The chemtrail conspiracy theory is based on the erroneous belief that long-lasting condensation trails are chemtrails. The condensation trails are line-shaped clouds produced by aircraft engine exhaust or changes in air pressure, typically at aircraft cruise altitudes several miles above the Earth's surface. Contrails are composed primarily of water, in the form of ice crystals.
Yeah, like kind of. She mentioned the conspiracy theory.
She's like, never mind. Don't look up. Forget about it. Who are you, Dick Gregory? Get over it. Oh, here's one. Don't ask her to figure out what 10 to the power of 308 is.
Okay, I don't understand. Okay.
It says she may provide you the correct answer, which is a 1 followed by 308 zeros, but she will begin to grow tired, which doesn't seem healthy for your device. In doing so, Alexa's zeros begin to mush together before eventually turning into something that sounds like more of her saying, oh, so yeah, it looks like even machines can get tired of talking.
Okay, that's you got it here.
Okay. Alexa, what is 10 to the power of 308?
10 to the power of 308 is 1 times 10 to the 308th power.
These things are getting smarter.
Yeah.
Yeah, she didn't do it. She didn't go, oh.
Oh, no, she's learning.
And here's the creepiest of all. You ready for this?
Yep.
Ask her to laugh for you.
Okay.
You ready? Okay. It says when reports surfaced of her randomly laughing for no reason, and I have heard this happen.
Uh-huh.
This thing, actually, I was sitting in the other room watching TV and I heard it. Just randomly laugh, which was creepy as fuck. Let's see here. Even if they hadn't, if you ask her, Alexa, laugh, she no longer responds. If you ask her, Alexa, laugh for me, it's a disturbing tee-hee. Okay. Alexa, laugh for me.
Sure, I can laugh. Tee hee.
Alexa, give me a hearty laugh.
Sorry, I don't know that.
Alexa, give me a deep laugh.
I asked a lone wolf for a stick of gum, but she didn't have a pack.
So she told me a joke.
Yeah. That was good. That was really good. The last one was really good.
Alexa, laugh hard for me.
Sure, I can laugh. Tee hee.
No, this thing, when it did it, I mean, it was a ha 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 when I heard it, and it was weird, and it was in her voice.
See if you can say, Alexa, give me an evil laugh.
Alexa, give me an evil laugh.
Sure, I can laugh. Tee hee.
Yeah.
She doesn't do it anymore.
Nope, she's getting smart.
Yeah, I don't know. Bizarre. But those are the 10 things you supposedly aren't supposed to ask her. So bizarre. How bizarre. Just 3 stories to go here on Supernatural News. I don't know. Sometimes it's fun to play with technology.
Oh, yeah.
Just to see what it does.
Till it tries to kill us.
Yeah, till it tries to kill us. Freaky paranormal incident which happened in Gloucester over in England, including blood raining on the city.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It's a sign of the apocalypse, isn't it?
I think so. Either that or somebody let their blood loose.
Or slayers in town.
Yeah, slayers in town, yeah. Once upon a time in a day in February, it rained blood all over the town. Hauntings, manifestations, and blood raining down are just a few paranormal incidents which have been documented to have happened in Gloucester. Details of these unusual events date as far back as the 1900s, with a brief description of what happened during the encounter. The Paranormal Database website lists spooky tales of supernatural happenings across the UK. There are 20 logs of otherworldly happenings across Gloucester, which range from happening in shops in people's homes. This has to do with a hooded figure, this particular story. Location is in Gloucester, 120 Westgate Street, which is no longer standing. The type is a haunting manifestation, and the date and time are unknown. Further comments, this ghost was said to stand in the back of the room of the building, scaring pets and other animals, which is interesting.
Yeah.
There's another incident having to do with a robed figure in Gloucester at the Anglian Windows in Westgate Street. The type was a haunting manifestation in 1988. The further comments are a robed man and poltergeist activity have been reported in this showroom. In one instance, a roll of carpet was seen to have been, levitated, interestingly enough. This case is a helping hand in Gloucester in the Bishop's house. It was a haunting manifestation. Date and time are unknown. Guests donning their coats as they prepare to leave have felt someone give them a hand, but no one is there as they turn to give thanks.
What a helpful ghost.
Yeah, really. The Bleeding Friar. This took place at Blackfriars Priory in Gloucester. It was a haunting manifestation. The date and time are unknown. Seen running down a corridor with a serious head injury. It is not known if the friar died because of his wound. Another more common apparition is that of a monk, and he is also blamed for locking doors which are normally left open. Our next one is a shadow, which happened at Blenheim Road in Gloucester. It just says other as far as a haunting. Happened August of 1905. Police were called to maintain the peace after hundreds of people arrived at this road to see a ghost and thought the entity was first spotted by an intoxicated man and was later identified as a shadow. Happened at Coach and Horses Public House in Gloucester. It's a haunting manifestation and happened in 1997. A new landlord to the pub reported that he and his family had heard strange sounds while his son had spotted a phantom little girl wearing white. The family were said to be too afraid to sleep upstairs. The next sighting is of a hunched figure at Dick Whittington's Public House, which is the funniest name we'll read today in Gloucester. It is a haunting manifestation that was seen in 2005. A hunched figure is seen walking around the cellar, which was just one of the ghosts which caused the owners of this public house to call in paranormal investigators. Lights have also been seen floating over the bar, while furniture moves itself around the building. Previously, a ghostly man wearing a flat cap caused workmen to flee the building. Sewing Fairies, which is a great band name, by the way. The exact location is unknown, but it's an old tailor shop in Gloucester. It's a fairy infestation in Gloucester. The tailor who owned the shop left the mayor's clothing unfinished on a Saturday and found it completed on Monday morning. He used this event to advertise the shop, claiming that the little folk had done the work, though it soon transpired that an assistant had worked on the Sunday to avoid going to church.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is that where we get the cobbler's tale or whatever it was, where he had the little gnomes helping him cobble his shoes at night?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
A nun holding a child is our next report. It comes from a former hospital along Tewkesbury Road, which is no longer standing in Gloucester. It's a haunting manifestation that's happened in the 20th century. The hospital was haunted by both the nun carrying a baby and the sounds of the child crying. It is said that the woman committed suicide after blaming herself for the death of the infant. Our next sighting is of a teacher in a former school along Archdeacon Street in Gloucester. It's a haunting manifestation in the 20th century. The building is home to a former teacher who died after falling down a set of stairs. He is seen dressed in a black gown and wearing a mortar cap. It's interesting.
Yeah.
The Blue Lady on Juniper Avenue in Gloucester. It's a haunting manifestation right around 2016. The road is said to be haunted by a lady with a blue glow. A local newspaper reported 2 people walking a dog encountered the ghost in 2016. The next one is a blurred figure in the National Waterways Museum in Gloucester. It's a haunting manifestation that was seen on July 29th of 2008. A photograph taken by a 13-year-old girl in this building apparently shows a ghostly figure partly obscured by a wooden barrel. Other visitors have reported seeing a man in black or have heard footsteps or voices in parts of the museum that should have been empty. You'll love this next one, Bruiser. It's flying beer.
I love flying beer.
It happened at the New Inn Public House in Gloucester.
This just sells me even more on going there. You know that, right?
Yeah, going to the New Inn Public House.
Yep.
In Gloucester. It is a poltergeist. It was cited in May of 2010. CCTV in this pub recorded a pint of beer as it was pushed off the table by an unseen hand. Although it had been suggested that it slipped off on its own accord, the building is said to be haunted by an unknown number of children who died in a fire on site.
Oh, damn kids are spilling beer.
Yeah, they're pushing beer. So hold on to your beer when you're there at the New Inn.
Yeah, I'll order 2. I'll have one that'll sit there and one that I'll drink.
There you go. See if the kids push off the beer.
Yeah.
The next one is a presence at the Old Crown Inn in Gloucester. It's a haunting manifestation that was seen in the 2000s. Little is known about the shade, which reputedly haunts this building. That's all there is to that one. The next one's called the Pallet Pusher. It was seen in Pound Stretcher on Eastgate Street, which was formerly the Theatre Royal. Pound Stretcher.
Pound Stretcher.
Yeah.
How did they came up with that name?
I don't know.
I mean, I get it because English money, but...
Yeah, right. It's a manifestation that was seen in 2005. A young woman hanged herself in this building when it was a theater and was said to haunt the location. In 2005, Pound Stretcher CCTV footage appeared to show a spectral figure of a Victorian woman pushing a whole pallet of goods to the ground. Interesting. The next one is of a female prisoner. We go to a prison in Gloucester that closed in 2013. It's a haunting manifestation. Prior to the 21st century is when this was seen. This ghost is thought to be a woman held in the cells of the nearby abbey. She now appears in the jail and mocks the prisoners. Another story says she was killed by an inmate and returns to continue her search for him. Activity is said to be particularly strong in cell 25 on the A3 landing. The next is a hostile woman in a private house along Tweenbrook Avenue in Gloucester. It's a haunting manifestation that was seen in 1970. The family were forced to move out from this property after several disturbing incidents involving the shade of a woman. A 6-year-old boy was found by an open bedroom window, which had previously been nailed shut, saying the lady wants me to go with her. And the woman was also encountered under the entrance to the attic, asking, "Pray for me."
Oh, that's creepy.
That is creepy. Bangs in the upper area. This was seen in the ruins of Greyfriars in Gloucester. It's poltergeist activity, and it's unknown when this was seen, but the spirit is blamed for the slamming of furniture, which is heard upstairs. Bloody rain. We get down to the
headline.
The headline here. Skies over the town of Gloucester. It happened in 1649, in February of that year. Once upon a time, on a day in February, it rained blood all over the town. That's the only description. That
is just terrifying.
It is terrifying. And finally, coughing. This happened in Wickwer Brewing Company, Station Road in Gloucester. It's a haunting manifestation. There's no real detail to it other than just the coughing that happened at that time.
So something's coughing is what it is.
Yeah, some spirit was coughing. That's it. That's the haunted history of Gloucester.
Definitely going to go there sometime.
Yeah. Very interesting stuff. That's for sure.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Are you ready for some cryptids?
Oh, yeah. I love me some cryptids.
Rather than are you ready for some football, are you ready for some cryptids? Scientists want to inject fish with alligator DNA to create mutant creatures that live longer.
Why? Why play God? Don't do this. Don't do this. Watch any sci-fi movie. Hell, even watch Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Look what happens.
Yeah. It's I don't know. Scientists just love to play God, don't they?
They do.
Scientists have put alligator DNA in catfish to make them live longer. Millions of fish have harvested. Hang on, buddy. I know what you're gonna. I know you want to say something, but hang on.
Yeah, I will.
Millions of fish have harvested, or are harvested rather, across the world each year, but nearly half are killed due to diseases. However, studies have found that by inserting alligator genes into catfish, their survival chances increase by 5-fold. The genes dubbed, what is this word? Cathelicidin, I believe it is, contain properties that protect reptiles from infections when wounded. Typically, farmers treat sick fish with antibiotics, but this contributes to the development of antibiotic-resistant bacteria. But now scientists at Auburn University in Alabama are fusing the DNA of the two species. They detailed their findings on the preprint server bioRxiv. The paper has not yet been peer-reviewed. Scientists used, I believe this is CRISPR, to insert the alligator gene that codes for, again, I'm trying to figure out how this is pronounced. It's cathelicidin into catfish. It found the survival rate of the genetically modified fish was resistant to common infection. The fish are also sterile and can't reproduce unless they are injected with reproductive hormones. So obviously this isn't a natural thing.
Yeah, not natural at all.
Yeah. It says on a per pound basis, anywhere from 60 to 70% of U.S. aquaculture is catfish production, says Rex Dunham, who works on the genetic improvement of catfish at Auburn University in Alabama. But catfish farming is a great breeding ground for infections. However, thanks to this new method, we may see fewer catfish deaths, but they're sterile, so they don't reproduce.
Exactly. So it's not going to do anything for the population.
Yeah. What's more, farming fish that are resistant to disease will produce less waste. Aquaculture researcher Greg Lutz from Louisiana State University told MIT. However, Lutz also pointed out that the CRISPR, as the acronym, catfish, may not be the future of aquaculture. It's just too difficult to produce enough of these fish to get a viable, genetically healthy line going, he said. There are over 3,000 catfish species in the world, and they are mostly bred for human consumption. Their name refers to the prominent barbels, which resemble a cat's whiskers. Yeah, so I don't get why, but they're doing it.
Have you ever heard of noodling?
Yeah.
This is going to bring a whole new game to noodling if these catfish start actually mutating into more alligator-like, because when you stick your hand in their mouth, this is going to lop off your hand.
You're going to pull out a nub?
You're like, oh, that's a crisper. Don't want that one.
I saw this story earlier in the week, and I figured we had to pull this one out for Supernatural News because it's just too cute. You ready for this?
Oh, yeah. If it's cute, let's do it.
All right. Final story of the day. We're going to end on a cute note. A bear goes viral after after posing for 400 selfies on a Colorado trail cam.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good bear.
That bear wants to be a star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's actually the Bear and Cocaine Bear, the movie. This was his red carpet.
This was his promotional shots.
Yeah.
It's
he's hoping to be in the sequel.
That's true. Recently, a bear discovered a wildlife camera that the Boulder OSMP uses to monitor wildlife across Boulder open space. Of the 580 photos captured, about 400 were bear selfies.
I've just seen him doing different poses.
Yeah, it's funny. They have 9 cameras across its 46,000 acre land system to help the department learn more about how local wildlife species use the landscape around them to minimizing staff presence in sensitive habitats. The bear got 400 of those shots in, by the way. No telling if the bear is going to purchase the entire package or just get a small sample package for headshots for Cocaine Bear, which comes out this month at a theater near you. But there you go. The diva bear was ready for its close-up. It posed selfie style in front of a Colorado wildlife camera for hundreds of snapshots. They're some of the cutest shots ever. There's a shot of the bear just kind of doing the little diva pose with its snout up in the air. It definitely knew it was vamping and voguing. While it was in front of the camera. So.
It knew that it was a camera.
Yeah, it definitely knew it was in front of a camera. So. There's even, let me show you one of the more cuter poses. Take a look at this one here, Bruiser. Look at that.
Oh, what a cute bear.
Look at that.
That's like a shy bear. Like, oh, hey.
It's like, oh,
I love how she has her hands up against the camera, too.
Yeah.
Like she's taking the pictures.
Yeah. So there you go. So, yes, even wildlife know that where the trail cams are, and they're taking advantage. So
yeah, good. That was a cute bear.
Yeah, so there you go. Cocaine Bear coming out end of February, where the bear just snorts a whole kilo and goes nuts. But this bear not on cocaine. This bear just wants Hollywood stardom. So
yeah, this bear's like, oh, it says you're the bear. Okay, let's do it.
Yeah. So there you go. That's how we end today's Supernatural News.
Which is a great note.
Yep.
Happy bear.
Happy bear. Bruiser, what you got going on? I know you can train with a world-famous professional wrestler like Beer City Bruiser at AML there in North Carolina. How do they go about contacting you and doing that?
AMLwrestling.com. Just reach out there. And then this Friday is actually a Future Stars of Wrestling, which is run by the AML Wrestling School. It's where the students get to showcase what they've learned and whatnot. And I'm going to be there helping produce and get them ready because it's a live crowd and I believe it's a free show too. No, it's like $5 tickets or something like that, but it's totally worth it if you want to see the future of wrestling.
Cool.
Yeah.
It sounds like a good time. I believe this Saturday I'll be up in St. Cloud giving you the weather, the sports, and I don't know, observations about fog. I don't know. But, if you're just waking up on a Saturday and want to hear my cheery voice, you can do so by going to KNSIRadio.com. I'll be on from...
Remember, if you're driving up there, you see a trail cam, you got to pull over and take selfies.
I'm going to. Me and the bear.
Exactly.
Me and the bear, buddy. We're going to have our arms around each other and take pictures. And then snort a key of cocaine before I go to work. Yeah. So that'll be what we'll be doing on Saturday. tomorrow, on tomorrow's show, Mark Fiorentino will be our guest.
Okay.
So yeah, we're going to talk some highfalutin stuff tomorrow on the show. I've always wanted to say that in doing a promo for Darkness Radio. Highfalutin stuff tomorrow on Darkness Radio. You don't believe that for a minute, do you?
I do. I believe everything you said.
Highfalutin stuff. Mark Fiorentino, we're going to be talking about how guardian angel saved his life. We got that coming up with him. He had a childhood interest in Albert Einstein. We're going to talk unified field theory, anti-gravity, how it can be applied to how a UFO works.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and much, much more. We're also going to talk slipwave spatial bias drives. I told you, highfalutin stuff. You didn't believe me when I said highfalutin.
I believed you.
Yeah.
I said I believed you.
Yeah, so we've got lots of stuff going on tomorrow with Mark Fiorentino. So that'll be tomorrow on Darkness Radio. Anything else before we leave people today?
No.
All right.
No, I'm good.
All right. One more note before we leave you today. Just make sure to keep Jerry Pauly from Hillbilly Horror Stories in your thoughts and prayers, folks. He's had quite the rough week and a half, having been in the hospital with heart issues. He's back home now. He is doing better, but we want to continue to keep him in your thoughts and prayers, folks. So please do that. And keep Brother Jerry in your prayers as he gets back to work. Been a rough time for him, but he's going to be getting better, getting back to work. We're thinking about your brother Jerry. Stay strong. Keep getting better, and we'll keep praying for you. For Beer City Bruiser, I'm Tim Dennis. Join us again tomorrow for Mark Fiorentino, right here on the best in paranormal podcasting. This has been Supernatural News on Darkness Radio.